Welcome back, friends. I'm Kim and this is Chris, and we're from Shift with Love, and this is Tea with the K's. And today we're starting our three-part series, going home for the holidays and bringing love with you.
One of the things that Kim and I have been talking about that a lot of our clients have been bringing to the table that we're all about to sit at for Thanksgiving is a lot of concern about old story, right? Old story. All of us go back home and it's sort of like you hear it on the movies, you hear it on TV, like, oh, here we go. How's Aunt Jane gonna be? And oh, that old stuff, right? And this year, might be a little bit more tense for people. The reality is, our culture has shifted and changed, and politics has impacted us. And a lot of people have a lot of mixed emotions about going home.
That's right. And it feels like, those rules that we used to grow up with have changed as well. So, like, don't speak politics or religion, but somebody's gonna.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to show up at the table and somebody's going to do it. And they're probably going to do it to get a rise as well. Um, so we have to meet that as well.
yeah. I love that you just named that. I just got such goosebumps when you said that, by the way. Like, there are some people in our family dynamics that want to either bring past stuff at the table, poke a little bit harder, talk about things that we're not supposed to talk about, like that rule, no politics, no religion at the table. But there's always oftentimes that one person that wants to poke the bear, isn't there?
Oh yeah. You always have an interesting dynamic with your family, right? And this isn't every family. Not every
No, no.
family has these issues. Some people go home for the holidays and they really, really love it and they love the time they spend together.
Yeah,
And that's fantastic. But we know that there's so many of us that do go home for the holidays and we just walk in the door knowing that there's going to be tension because somebody's going to be poking the bear. Somebody's going to be hiding in the corner. Somebody is going to try to people please all day long, and make sure
right.
everyone's all right and exhaust themselves and then maybe cry, oh, I do everything for everyone, like there's always the dynamics that we have to deal with.
I love that you're sort of naming personalities here, right? Like there's some of us that freeze sort of like, oh, did she just say that? Some of us that fight, like that poke the bear person. Some of us that leave the room like, oop, I'm out. Let me just go, right?
Hmm.
And some of us are like, it's okay. It's that people pleasing, fawning thing. Like you're
Hmm.
naming personality, you're also naming nervous system response.
Yeah. Yeah, because your nervous system's going to be on high alert, and like Christine said, like things are changing in our cultural dynamics as well. So people are already on edge just living life, and then you bring holidays and family dynamics into that, and it can get a little, So we
Yeah,
just want to talk about what that looks like and knowing that we all want to belong. Like that's part of family is like we all want to belong, right? And so to belong, sometimes we have to be like them. So maybe my values don't line up with my sister's values, and I don't want to have to pretend anymore, to be her or to,
right.
Uncle Bob, And so where do we find that balance to stay in our own solidarity, but also show up at the table with everybody else and their own solidarity, right?
Yeah. And you also just named something super important too. It's where there's tension, it creates tension. So there's a saying, energy begets energy, trauma elicits trauma. And right now, if insecurity is here, then what it pushes, it just culturally, regardless of what you believe in, culturally, there's just an insecurity that's here. That's the reality, okay? We're in an unknown time and the mind doesn't like the unknown. So insecurity pushes to the surface insecurity. So if and insecurity ignites the nervous system. So we are going to be walking to many of our tables, many places outside of ourselves with our nervous systems ignited.
Right.
We just will.
Yeah. So how do you show up at the table or make a decision not to show up at the table? And how do you do it with your nervous system more calm? Because energy begets energy, right? So
Yeah.
if you can show up at the table in a more calm and grounded area for yourself and your nervous system is tampered down, then everybody else might fall into place too. It's not science. Like it
Well,
doesn't,
that was good. It's true. It's not, I think what you're trying to name is it's not a formula. You know,
no.
it
Yeah.
nothing is it goes back into black and white, right? Like no matter what we choose to do, there's no right or wrong, black or white. If you try to hold on to here's the way it should be, here's how I should be, here's how everybody should be, you're gonna get hurt. You just are. I was reading this morning about the power of happiness, the where it really comes from is your ability to be flexible. Flexibility, living in the gray, flowing with what is, right? It allows your nervous system and your body to relax a little bit, to be present. So
Mm.
flexibility is everything and acknowledging yourself, how you feel, what you believe in, what you value is super important to who you are as an individual. But
Yeah.
one of the things that we talk about in the love framework are the four N's. And number one is like noticing and naming, or number one and two is noticing and naming, right? And we started talking about nervous system here. And I think part of it, I know for me, going into the Thanksgiving holiday, I'm like, what is my nervous system like to do? I can poke the bear. I can
Mm.
like to poke the bear.
Yep. It's really important for us to go into this and how we can calm our nervous system and show up at the table is to do what you're saying is naming and noticing. Like, who am I showing up at the table? Name it. Like,
Mhm.
I like to poke the bear too sometimes, but I also like to people please. So I do this little dance of both of those things, making sure everybody's happy, but also like standing my ground in a way that's maybe a little aggressive. um,
Me
and
too.
then go ahead.
No, I said, me too. I do that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just we have to be able to name the things that are there so that we can walk into it knowing what's there and knowing that we had the choice to walk in.
Yeah.
So you don't have
What
to
name,
go
what does that mean? Knowing we have the choice to walk in, what does that mean?
like I'm going home for the holidays and I chose that.
Yes.
So I can't be mad at everybody else for being exactly who they are because I chose to be there, right? So if I
Hmm.
can stay in my own solidarity, in my own core values, in my groundedness, why I'm there, then I don't have to worry about who they are because I already know. I chose that. I chose to show up at that table. Or maybe you chose not to, and that's fine too. Maybe for me, it was like, ooh, it's just a little bit too different. And I just know that I'm like fight, 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 fight. And I don't think I can calm my nervous system. So I'm going to stay home this year. And that's okay too.
So let me ask you another question. For those people who decide they want to stay home this year, do you think that they should be declaring that to their family? Like declaring it like, we don't get along very well, and I don't like your values, and you don't like mine, so I'm not coming.
Well, let's live in the gray,
Okay.
situation by situation. So maybe you do declare it, but you declare it because somebody asked you. Why? Your mom asked you why you're not coming home.
Right.
And, maybe that's your time to have that calm conversation without being in fight,
Right.
and saying, you know what, I need to honor myself right now and I need to honor what my values are. And this year I want to try to stay home. And knowing that we can make that choice today for this year and it doesn't have to be that way for next year.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that, being able to say, hey, it's just things are different for me right now and how I'm feeling right now today is I need to stay closer to my home, and I just need a little bit of a quieter holiday for me. Love you guys so much. Gonna miss
Yeah.
ya.
Yeah.
And no, I think I need to choose to stay home right now. And then choose to really stay present because a lot of us can make that decision. And then once the holidays hit, we're like, oh my God, what did I do? I should have, I should have, right? And again, the invitation is when you start hearing that I should have and that self-blame,
Mm.
that's another opportunity to be like, slow your roll, slow your roll.
Yeah.
Choose to choose again and choose
Mhm.
you. Because I think a lot of times, going back to the nervous system, what can happen for a lot of us is we're so wired into and conditioned to take care of everybody else. We're so brought up in our homes to make sure everybody else is happy, and we're so wired into from how we were raised to make sure that we're focusing on mom and dad and everybody else, that when we begin to choose to focus on ourselves, it can actually feel really good until it doesn't. But if
Right.
we could start having feelings inside, we're like, what is, like, I was working with somebody yesterday. She was like, me choosing to stay home, my stomach, I am like been nauseous ever since.
Mm,
Like, but what is that saying to you? She's like, me choosing me, I've never done it before,
right.
ever. This
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah. And when you have those feelings, it's really easy for those shoulds to start sneaking through. Like, oh, I should go home. I should. Because that's the nervous system trying to regulate itself, right? Trying to
The
say, oh
other
no,
thing
no,
that,
this is unfamiliar. We can't take care of ourselves. We gotta go take care of everybody else. Like we should be
yeah.
doing we
Yeah. And
should.
that those aren't conscious shoulds, by the way. It's just
No.
that feeling. The other thing that we've been taught over time is when we have this feeling of, oh, God, something doesn't feel right, who's causing this? And we
Oh
start
yeah, that's
to
a good
look
one.
outside of ourselves for who's making me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And we start to blame,
Yeah. And we
right?
talk about this a lot in our work. And I mean, you can just go back and look at all the reels that we've made on blaming. And like you're every time you blame somebody else for your feelings, you one, give away your power, and two, you'll never change it. So
100%.
yeah,
But it's hard. That's
it
hard. It's
is.
super, super hard to stay in the awareness, to
Mm-hmm.
stay in the practice of noticing and naming what's going on within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard because it's not something we've been taught. It's not something we've talked about in our adulthood, in our homes, in our childhood. We haven't taught our children, we haven't been taught how to listen and pay attention to ourselves and notice what we're feeling. We just
Yeah.
haven't been.
No, no.
So
So
it's
it
hard.
isn't easy. And but we know that it is possible. And it's what we always say, small shifts, infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
And it's because you just take one moment at a time. You know, like in this moment, I am aware that this is how I'm feeling and I'm making this choice. That's
Yeah.
it. Next moment.
Yeah.
And you
A
know what? The
couple,
next 50 moments, you might not be aware. And then another moment pops up and you're aware again, you
yeah.
know?
Yes. A couple of things. I've got some notes that I've written down because we've been talking about this. And I think it's super important. And we were talking about like the people who do go home for Thanksgiving, right? A couple of key points that I think are super important to name is listening is not always about agreeing with everybody. You can listen and not agree. And,
Right.
and again, sometimes what happens is everybody at that table is waiting for you to fight because that's what they're used to you doing. But when you just sit there and you go, huh, okay, and you just listen, I hear that. I get that. I might not agree with that, but I get that. The dynamic, it changes the whole entire table. And people will start feeling that calm that's in you that they're not used to feeling. And then you get to watch the ripple out effect,
Mhm.
right? And then we also have observing helps you see what's happening without absorbing it. So when we choose to witness, to watch each other from a place of non-judgment and curiosity, we can actually start seeing how, and I do this with my kids all the time. I'm like, watch the table. Like, watch how one person says something and then another person pings off of that and then pings off that and then pings off of that. Like, it's sort of like this habit of our family to like just start like pinging off of each other. But if you weren't, what are you watching? What do
Mm.
you see? Who
Mhm.
are they? Do they even believe half of what they're saying that they're not even aware of what they're saying? It's a really fascinating place to be.
It is.
Hmm. What else do we have here? When someone gets loud or cruel, that's their fear speaking. I think
Yes.
that's that fight response, right?
Yes.
That
If
fear of
anyone
not.
is ever in fight mode, it's fears there.
Yep,
Period.
1000%.
Yep.
1000%. And what would it be like if you could listen to that? You can see it. You can go, wow, that person's fearful and they don't know it.
Yeah. And that's okay. I don't have to fix it.
And
That's
I
a big
don't have,
one. Yeah. I don't have to make them aware of all their problems, point it out. That's not my job.
that's a big piece.
That is a big piece.
Wow, that's a big piece. So we hadn't talked about how easily that pops in too.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's
used to do that a lot with my family, and I realized how annoying it
hmm,
was for them.
yeah,
But I was going through my own my own journey, my own healing process, and I wanted everyone to experience what I was experiencing. So
yeah.
I just told everybody what they needed to hear and like, oh, you're doing this because of that, and you're doing this and because of that. And it's like, first of all, that may not be true. That is not my life to make that judgment. Second of all, that's really fucking rude. You know? It's just rude
For you.
for me to tell everybody else what they should and shouldn't be doing.
That's right. And we were talking about this the other day too. It's sort of like my choice and how I want to live my life and how I want it to go and what I want to do. It's been created by the blueprint of my past. And a lot of times I don't even understand that. And it's also, and some of it is choice, but it's my path. It's my choice.
Right.
And when I tell somebody in my family, like, "Ugh, you believe that? You think that?" It's such a conditional judgment, and we
Mm,
perpetuate the call and response of the judgment in our family dynamics. And then our children are sitting here watching. And what do they start to learn? You really believe that? Really?
yeah.
Ew. What?
Yep.
And we continue to pass down this face and that tone
Mm-hmm.
and that judgment. And then
Yeah.
we feel the disconnection that we don't want to feel. So staying in the present moment and taking a deep breath in. And every time something begins to happen that here it comes, you have an opportunity to be like, yeah, here it comes. And one of my favorite tools is feel your feet on the floor beneath you and push lightly into the ground and take a breath in. Nobody sees you doing it. And what you're doing is you're signaling to your body, I'm right here, I'm safe, I'm in control. That breath actually, that breath actually fuels your voice and your heart to
Yeah.
choose something different, to not automatically respond from a conditioned response, but to stay in a place of awareness and choose to choose again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Holidays are a good thing. Family is good. We're all
It
good.
really is.
Everybody's good. And when we can start practicing being in awareness and listening and observing and validating each other, valuing, I don't want to say validating, valuing each other as an important part of each one of our lives
Mm,
and understanding we are just different and we're all doing the best that we can to just get by, a lot of us.
yeah.
Then the nature and the nurture of our home actually becomes really that much more beautiful.
Yes, it does.
Mhm. All
What are
right,
we talking
Mama.
about next time?
The next time we are going to be talking about what are we going to be talking about?
Listening beyond the noise.
Yes.
Yes. The fear of conflict or being misunderstood, and
Yeah.
how you can still feel heard and accepted even when people differ, and which we
Yeah.
touched on a little bit today, but we'll go into it a little bit more
Yeah.
next.
So three-part series. Why are we doing three parts?
I don't know. Because it's
Reminders,
3 weeks.
reminders, practice, reminders, right? We can't change something if we don't name it. And we really can't change it permanently if we're not practicing it. And we really can't practice it very well if we don't have community to remind us what to
Mhm.
do and remind us of what we say we truly want. We need that mirror with each other. It's the core and essence of who we are. So we've got 3 weeks moving toward Thanksgiving, and our invitation to you guys is come back to community, come back to self, come back to recognizing how you want to feel, how to put it into practice, and the reminders that you need to keep coming back to you because you will dynamically change the essence and energy of you, your home, your children, and your relationships. That's why we're doing this series.
Yes. And because there's
And
3 weeks until Thanksgiving.
yeah, and we like talking and being heard and being seen and doing what we do.
Yes.
Yeah. One of these days I'll stop doing this, I think. But
I don't think you
until
will.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Yeah, I can't help it. Goes back to personality, right?
Yeah, I love it.
All righty. Bring
All
us
right.
home.
All right. So again, tea with the K's. If something hit home today, please share it with your loved ones. Okay. We know that so many of us need this reminder around this time of year. So send it out, like and subscribe. Also, visit us on our Instagram page because there's a ton of content on there for you if you're interested in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do
And
daily
we'll
little reminders there all the time. And they're
all
not
the,
just for you, they're for us too.
oh, they're mostly for us.
All right, team.
All right. So we'll see you next week.
All
Until then.
righty. Bye.